A bill proposed in the Nevada legislature would loosen training requirements for dental hygienists in Nevada. Senate Bill 495 proposes multiple changes to public health. The bill would allow dental hygienists, though, to be licensed by completing a training course supervised by a licensed dentist. And the current law requires hygienists to graduate from an accredited program to be eligible for a license. So, what is behind this proposed alternative training pathway for dental hygienists, and what are the possible legal implications if this law passes? And of course, here to discuss it all with us, we have Matthew Hoffmann. He's an attorney with Battle-Born Injury Lawyers. We thank you so much for joining us, Matt. This is one that we've gotten some emails from folks who are dental hygienists, and I'm sure that comes as no surprise to you.
Yeah, I mean, Nevada's a unique state. We've seen this before, where the reason behind all this is, look, we have potential shortages, whether it's dentists, dental hygienists, and we need to create alternate pathways other than the traditional accredited program. But in this case, I mean, you have the National Association of Dental Hygienists has come out against this bill vehemently. Yeah. Their stated reason being they think it'll lower the quality of care. I can't really speak to that. I get the concern, but the idea is, in some of the rural communities in Nevada, there's shortages, and it's hard to get people that are dental hygienists to want to go there. So let's take people that are dental assistants and give them a way to train with somewhere they're already working. They get this apprenticeship type pathway, which still hasn't been developed. This just authorizes the program to be developed. But then the only difference between this and going to an accredited program, like CSN has one, a 2-year program, is that you do the apprenticeship, but at the end you got to take the same tests and you have to take the same practical boards. So really the training is different, but the licensing requirements, background checks, et cetera, testing is the exact same.
So you have to know the same information.
Yeah, exactly.
In order to be able to do it.
Yeah, I would compare it to like osteopathic medicine. Like Touro University, you can get a doctorate of osteopathic medicine, a DO, which is different than an MD, but at the end of the day, you have to take the same boards. Just because you went to a different type of medical school, you still have to take the same boards in order to become a practicing physician. We did see this in 2013 with nurse practitioners. Nevada joined, I think, 25 other states and said, okay, nurse practitioners can have full authority for full practice privileges, thinking that that means more NPs would open clinics in rural, smaller communities. And really the only people that benefited was us here in Las Vegas and up in Reno.
Right. And
we saw all these clinics open up with NPs that aren't supervised by physicians. Is that lesser quality of care? I don't think so. But the AMA in that case has raised concerns that it creates the overtreatment, because MPs might encounter something because they don't have a physician right there supervising them. They send more people to the ER and for unnecessary treatment. Dental hygienists, they're supervised by dentists anyway.
Right.
And we're talking about people that do your cleaning, fluoride, x-rays, and come up with plans with dentists.
There is some other concern, though, that it can maybe drive down the wages for folks who are in this profession.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of where the concern's coming from the National Association. Their stated purpose is, it's going to lower standards of care. I don't think that's really valid. I think the bigger concern is wages, because if you have people who are currently, let's say, dental assistants, and then they go through and this apprenticeship program, and they're being paid because they're employees, and then they pass all their testing. Well, now if you're corporate dentistry and there's a shortage declared, you're going to push as many people as possible to get the certification, and then you're going to turn to them and say, well, you didn't graduate the traditional route, so we're going to pay you less. And that could cause wage stagflation. It could come down where now these people are making less money. I think that's part of the concern for the National Association. They don't want to see their members have their overall pay impacted.
Yeah, do you think it's going to go through?
I do. I think Nevada has a history of these type of bills getting through. And it's always, again, it's like the unintended consequences. We're such a unique state with one large metropolitan area,
right.
Smaller metro in Reno, and then you've got, smaller cities like Pahrump or Ely or Elko, where they need more people, and you do these bills to try to encourage it, but ultimately it usually gets used in an unintended way in the larger communities.
Maybe they need to have a provision, though, for the rural areas, like some type of incentive, if that's where the big issue is.
Yeah, and I think that would be wise. Let's say in counties with a population of 800,000 or less, or whatever it would be that excludes Las Vegas and Washoe. We'll see what they do. There's still time to amend this, but I think on its face it'll get through, because really all this does is creates the now opportunity to create the program.
Not
it doesn't
the program.
create the program itself. Right. It's just an outline to say, okay, go ahead and do this. And then they have to declare that there's a shortage. and then during that time of shortage, that's when they can do the apprenticeship. So I think it'll go through, and then we'll see what Health and Human Services does from there.
Okay, look at us solving problems in 4 minutes.
I
Thanks
guess,
so much,
yeah,
Matt.